What's up, guys? It's the Podcast Boys back with episode 61. I guess we'll just hop in right into story time.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys got stories for the week?
I have a long one, so I can go last.
All right. Should I start us off?
Oh yeah.
All right. So this week, I watched the new Space Jam movie. It's like the Space Jam 2 New Legacy. Right off the bat, I'll just say it was all right. A lot of my friends that I saw it with, I saw it with like 5 people. All of them said they disliked it a lot. When I asked them to rate the movie, they said they gave it a 2, or a 4. So that's pretty bad to me. I said it was about like a 6. I think it was a pretty good movie, but I don't know. Apparently they didn't like it. If you like LeBron, I mean, definitely go watch it because, it's about LeBron and, Space Jam and stuff.
Or if you like Bugs Bunny.
If you like Bugs Bunny, go watch it, too. It's a good movie. I mean,
For that.
Huh?
For that.
For that, yeah, exactly. I would say just go watch something else if, you don't, want to, waste your money. The good thing is I got to spend only, $10 instead of, 16 because I got, the child one, so, you
What?
know.
How'd you get the child one?
I just, because you pay at, the kiosk thing, and I just said that I was, 13, and then I just scanned. They don't really check your ticket. They just kind of, scan it, and so, I got to get it cheaper, so.
Wow.
That was pretty
I
good.
wonder how long you can do that for.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got quite a bit of time, so that's kind of good. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie, but yeah, that's all that I really.
At McDonald's, they have special chicken nuggets for it.
Really? Yeah, I saw the drinks. They have the Happy Meals, and they got LeBron on it. And in Walmart, I've seen this TikTok. People are popping off the LeBron heads. There's this one figure, and people have been stealing all the LeBron heads, but
What would they do with LeBron's head?
I don't know. I think people just take it and I went to Walmart with one of my friends, and he's like, yo, people, check this out, and he popped it off, and he just put it in his pocket. So he had a fucking LeBron head, and just I don't know, put in your room. Got some nice room decor, but.
There's gonna be that one guy that has a collection of LeBron's heads.
Yeah, they should got a whole line of LeBron.
I got this one from this Walmart, this one from that Walmart.
Hits up all the local Walmarts for the LeBron heads.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He wanted.
Yeah. LeBron head stealer. I mean, that could be a thing.
They have a LeBron skin in Fortnite.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and they have the Space Jam one. There's one with him. He has wings or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, that's all. My
The next
story
movie, I don't think there will be one, but if there is another sequel, it's gotta be a Bronny,
you think?
or the next big basketball player.
Someone said Luka, but then we're well, Luka he's new. If he has more accomplishments, maybe
yeah,
Maybe. But I think it's kind of different eras, right?
For
You
now,
have
not
Jordan,
not
LeBron. You kind of need another era. You know what I mean?
we gotta wait for that other era.
I could say Giannis, but Giannis doesn't. He's not
He's not up there yet.
Giannis acting, I don't think, LeBron's acting is pretty bad. And, the funny thing is, because it's about, LeBron's family and stuff, too. So they didn't use.
It's all about family.
They didn't
use Bronny.
Bronny or Don, who's, the whole movie's about. So it's kind of I don't know. And, the thing is, Bronny, they could have got Bronny because, he only, his, cameo in the movie is, not that long. He's probably, a couple minutes of screen time.
What does he play?
It's just he's just the brother there. There's a scene of them on the basketball court, and they're just shooting and stuff. And
weird.
that's they could have got him. It's I don't know. And they had LeBron, so I feel they could have got him. Yeah, but
Was it Warner Bros. That did it?
Yeah.
It must have been because Bugs Bunny, they own that shit.
And it went. Yeah, it was it went into the whole what they called it the serververse and stuff with all the. Cartoons and stuff and everything they own. So it's kind of cool to see I don't know, some it's kind of the whole Warner Bros. Everything they have. So there was Harry Potter, there was the Matrix and stuff, and all the stuff that they have rights to that kind of showed up in the movie. And there was some good references. There was this photo taken. It was with Dwayne Wade, and then LeBron. It's like the one where like he assisted LeBron. And he's running like this. So they have like some little. If you're like watching and you keep your eyes open, you'll see like some little references to like, I don't know, like LeBron's career and stuff. And like, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But
Dude, nice.
yeah, it's a good movie, in my opinion.
It's up to you guys. It's all up to you.
Should check
You
the
wanna see?
rating on it.
Yeah, I wonder what it
I
got.
wonder what the critics say.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Yeah, let's see.
I feel like all the sequels are like worse than the originals. Like, cause the sequels are always just like
Ooh.
not as good.
You can't beat like OG.
Exactly.
I've seen worse ratings, but it's 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So when it's 100%, that's good, right?
So good.
Okay,
like,
so that's not good. Right?
rarely see 100.
Dude, the
Probably.
Karate Kid 3 had like 10% or like 12 or something. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, sometimes I don't really like the movie critics. Like, Grown Ups. Do you like that one?
I love Grown Ups, bro.
It's like 3%.
What?
Yeah,
what
people don't like Adam Sandler. Like, Hubie's Halloween, it's like really low too. Like, see right
Oh,
here.
I love Adam.
I feel like critics are like too serious. Like
Yeah.
when they're watching like a
True.
comedy, like sometimes it's kind of funny.
This
that
shit
they're
does not meet my standards.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
like it could be like a shitty movie, but it's like a funny shitty movie. You know what
The
I mean?
critics can control it. Control the narrative, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Like it could. Yeah, it's like a way you perceive it, in my opinion. Like it's like. I
because
feel
if
like
somebody that has never seen Cobra Kai before and they're like a kid, they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, this is a really good film." Some guy grew up in the '80s, loving Karate Kid.
Yeah,
They might not like it as much.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it depends on the perspective, right?
Okay, ready? So, Grown Ups,
Oh my god.
2010. On
Dude.
Rotten Tomatoes, it's 11%.
What the hell?
And then Grown
11.
Ups 2 is 8.
8%. That's
Yeah.
not even like. That's like a fail. Like.
Both of those movies are one of my favorite like Adam Sandler movies.
I
Like
don't know what
holy,
happened. though.
Grown Ups 2 was I think better than the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Mhm.
Weirdos, man.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you guys think? But that's really weird. Have you seen the Grown Ups?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so good.
Mhm.
So good.
I know it's a good, and they have like there's a couple of them, right? Isn't there like
I
3,
think there's 2.
2?
It
Yeah.
would have been
Yeah,
great if
2.
they had more, but like at the second one they had like the kids were in high school. I don't know what they could
And
have
it's like
done.
the whole. Didn't they go on like a camp or something? Or no, they didn't went like camping, and it's like all the dads or whatever. Like it's whole like.
Maybe one of them. But the second one, you can't like. Let's say they have a third one and they go into like university. That's not really. It takes away the fact of grown-ups, right? Because you got the first movie that's like grown-ups. The coach dies, and then they got the kids that they gotta like show their legacy to or whatever. And then they got the second movie where it's like, okay, the kids are grown up and they're kind of getting, in touch with like their parents and like, they're kind of like living up to their expectations and like the outcome of that. So I don't know what the third one would be. I don't even know. They might have planned to do, because a lot of movies they're like, yeah, we're gonna do another sequel, and then they end up not doing it. Like I know the Scooby-Doo movies, they were gonna make a third one for that, but then they saw how bad the second one did, and they're like, yeah, we're not doing it. They were planning on it, but I don't know. They're like this.
They
It's
probably
so
just-
bad we can't fund the next one.
Yeah, they probably just didn't have like enough money to
Yeah,
get past
That's
like
that's
the
all it was. Yeah.
next one, but
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like a lot of times they kind of like sell out. Like they made one good movie, and then they try to like replicate that, so they make sequels and like they just try to make so like I feel like that happened like. Okay, like this is kind of weird, but like so like when Disney bought Star Wars, you know how they just kept adding on because it's like they really it was kind of like a cash grab because
Mhm,
when Disney
really.
bought it, they
They
spent so much on it.
They give George Lucas enough money that his grandchildren are gonna be rich.
That's fucked. That's
Like,
crazy.
So, I don't know. Would that be good for him to sell his company? Because like, on one hand, you get a shit ton of money, second, you can keep the culture and keep what is good. I don't know. He
Yeah.
said that. He said like, "Oh, I sold my soul to Disney."
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing is like you give your like I feel like Disney like why would they buy it if they're not gonna like do anything with it? Because
Yeah.
they just put in like so much money in order to get that franchise. So to not like do something with it or like
It'd be
capitalize on that,
pointless.
like yeah, why would they just spend all that money just down the drain? So like I mean like they make like Lego sales or something if Disney owns that, but like I don't know. I just think yeah, if they didn't do anything with it, like they wouldn't have made money. But obviously like it kind of like ruined like what Star Wars was kind of like where it was going, and they just
Mhm.
kind of like I don't know made a bunch
Some
of
people are
like
like, the Disney, they're not canon.
yeah, they're just like
So
yeah. Some people like my cousins, they're really big Star Wars fans, and they haven't watched any of the new ones because they just hate like it's so bad.
well, if they hate Disney, then yeah, they wouldn't like.
Yeah,
The,
and I kind
I don't know. The Mandalorian was good for the first season. The second one just ruined it
of
because
yeah,
they got shit that doesn't add up with like the original story.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Whose turn is it?
Little movie rant.
Me, yo. Alright, so I've been doing a lot of math. Yeah. So that's good. Gonna be getting them A's. Been yeah, just doing a lot of like work, and I've also been watching a lot of Larry Lawton. He's a pretty cool YouTuber. Basically, he was this like a really huge jewel thief, and he tells like his stories on YouTube about like prison and like yeah.
And
That
did he do
one.
any?
That one video was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I watched like a thing on Netflix kind of similar. It was like it's called Heist, and they talk about like a bunch of like the big. I've only watched like the one like episode, I guess, but it's about like the. It was like this. It was like the biggest like heist in like Vegas or whatever, and this girl like she steals like the. She works for like
It's
the.
not Money Heist, is it?
No, this one's a different one. So like this one's called. It's just called like Heist, but
Okay.
basically she um works at like you know like the Loomis like armored like vehicles and stuff.
Mhm.
She works there and she's like the driver, and then basically it just goes on the whole story of like how they like got the money, like what they did and like what they were going through like throughout the whole heist and stuff. And it's like it's really cool how they like show it. So like yeah, that was really cool to watch, but yeah.
Dude, so sick. Yeah. It's pretty cool because like he shows like he actually he went on GTA and he like criticizes the game on what they did like wrong, and then he says like so many things that they did wrong, and he also like hates Lester, the character, but he interviewed him actually, like the real guy,
Damn.
and he actually likes him. So yeah.
What does he not like about it?
Cause Lester, like, there's literally no point in having him in the game. And like Lester thinks he's like such the guy, like he like
I can hack your mom's computer. Yeah.
he's like very annoying. and-
Yeah. He spams you in online.
Mhm.
Dude, I wish you could mute him.
That's online. That's one of the online isn't the best.
Alright, I'm just gonna get right into it. So I had like so I heard that dreams only last like a couple of seconds, but this one felt so long. So I'm just gonna dive right into it. Okay, so I see if I can remember it. So it's very detailed. If I can remember it. So I was going to school, but it wasn't my school. It was a different school, but it was like my school. And it was during COVID, but no one was wearing masks, which is weird. And COVID was so bad that if you were even exposed to COVID, instead of like self-isolating for 2 weeks, you had to go into this special class. So instead of going to class with like, your other classmates and normal class, you had to go to class in like this isolated classroom. So this was bad because even if you were like the slightest bit exposed, you still have to like do the special class. And it's not fair because if you're one of those people that are like, barely exposed, someone else could be extremely more exposed, like give someone a hug, and you still have to go to that class. So by going to that class, you're pretty much getting COVID, if you get what I mean. Because all these people that are exposed, more so than others, are in the same area, in the same class. So they do that so that it's like you still get education, and you don't have to do it online, and you don't have to self-isolate, but it's just not good, right? It's just getting more people sick. And you go to class like an hour earlier, and you leave class an hour later so that you don't interact with other kids in the school. So it was like the beginning of the school year, and it was about like a couple weeks in, maybe a month, and like a lot of people I knew had to go to this class. And I didn't have to for a while, for like a month or two. I had a good like run. And finally I get like a note that I've been exposed to COVID. They didn't tell me why. So I go into this classroom on like Monday, and they tell me what had been like where I've been exposed. So in science class, like a couple of days before, I think before the weekend started, I had like in science class they were passing around like these materials or something, and someone touched it that had COVID, like the slightest thing, and I had to go to this class. And I was like, that's bullshit. Like now I'm gonna get COVID because someone else hugged like their mom or their dad that had COVID, and now I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? So I was like, shit. And there's so many kids in the school, right? So there's not just one class. There's like several classes. So I get put into this one class, and most of the kids are like from my science class because they had to, do it as well. But I go into this class, and I know nobody there, and I'm sitting at like this table like this, and I'm like where Justin is sitting, and then like the teacher's like at the front, and I'm sitting there by myself, and this guy comes in. This is where it gets weird. This guy walks in, and I look to see who it is, and it's Juice WRLD. It's Juice WRLD, and he walks into the class, and he's very like nonchalant about it, and the teacher's like, "You're late," and he doesn't care. So he sits next to me, and nobody knows who he is. And I was like, "Yo, you're Juice WRLD." He's like, "Oh yeah, you know me?" And we're just like having a conversation, and then we get to be like buddies, and we're in this class, and he starts like causing trouble, and he was like, I didn't talk to anyone else because I didn't know anyone else in the class, but he also agreed with me how the fact that it was like stupid to go to this class. And so we were in this class, and then he was on his phone or something, or he was doing something that he wasn't supposed to, and the teacher's like, "Stop that." He's like, "No." And then she's like, what did you say to me? And then he starts like saying his lyrics to like one of his songs, just like out of nowhere. He's like, "I have these lucid dreams." Like he's just starting up the song or something. And then the teacher's like, "What are you doing? Stop." And he keeps on doing it. And then he starts to go into like sing it. And then I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And then the teacher is like, "All right, that's it. You're expelled. Get out of here." And then he's like, "All right, sweet." He grabs his bag. No, he doesn't, like, he didn't have anything on him. So he just leaves, and he's dancing out the door. I look out the window, and I see him looking at me like I'm free, and he's like dancing, going away. And I noticed he left his phone on the table, and it was open, so it was unlocked like that. I was like, dude. It was like an iPhone 4 or 5. So I fake it up. I'm like, I can do so much stuff with this. I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to follow myself. I'm going to like do all this. And I didn't do it right away because the teacher would see me. So I hid it under a piece of paper, and I couldn't open it. I was trying to do it so badly, and I couldn't because she kept on walking near me, and I kept having to tap the screen constantly that it wouldn't like sleep or whatever. So it wouldn't like lock the phone. I can't get in. So I kept hiding it every time she walked by. Eventually she saw it, and she's like, "Oh, that's his phone. I'll take it." And I was like, "Oh, no, he wanted me to give it to him. He forgot it." And he's like, do you even know him? Are you even friends with him? I was like, oh, yeah, we're friends. She's like, okay, what is his name? And, like, I forgot what his name was. It was, like, Gerard or something is his real name. And I was like, Juice. And then she's like, no, that's not his name. I was like, oh, well, that's his nickname. That's all I call him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just call him Juice. And then she's like, okay. So she's like, okay, so you know that his name is, and she starts saying like gibberish, and I don't even remember what she said. Maybe she said like Mohammed or some shit. She's like, you know Mohammed, baby, baby, and I was like, yeah, I know that's his name. And she's like, oh, okay, and she just walks away. I was like, dude. And then by the time we're done talking, I went to check the phone, and it was locked, and I was like, shit. And I tried to unlock it. It's only like Face ID or like fingerprint. There's no pin or anything.
Face ID on the iPhone 4.
Yeah, I have no idea. It was like iPhone 4 or 5, and then I was like, well, what am I gonna do with it now? So I put it in my bag, and I go home, and 2 days later, like I've been going to school like the next 2 days, and he's like not there because he's expelled. I'm like, damn it! Now it's like boring. You know? I'm here with a bunch of COVID kids, and I'm just getting COVID probably. And then one day, I go home, which is not my home. It's a really big home. I hear music, and I was like to my mom, like, what is the music? And then she's like, yeah, this guy comes in here saying he's your friend, and he's just in like his like studio or something in like our house. He's just in there, and he's been waiting for you. And I was like, is it just? She's like, I don't know his name. Like, go, like, see him. So I go, and he's like recording. I was like, yo, I was so happy to see him because I wanted to see him again. So I was like, oh, well, you left your phone. And he looks at it like this. He's like, oh, yeah, thanks. Like, he doesn't care at all. And then he just puts it away. And then we're talking, and he's like, yeah, we got to do something. Like, we got to hang out or something. And then I was like, I got school tomorrow. He's like, why are you even going to, like, the class? And I was like, because I got to do, it's a part of school. He's like, why don't you just skip? I was like, I can't. I have to do schoolwork. He's like, all they make you do is do homework that you had from your other classes that you didn't get to finish. And you just sit there and you get COVID. Like, why would you want to, you're not learning anything and you're just getting sick. Why would you want to, like, go there? And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I skipped school. I have my backpack and everything on. And he goes in, we have like a pickup, he has like a pickup truck, and then we go into that. He takes me to like this farm area, like this farm terrain. And it's like in the middle of nowhere. And we get out to like look at scenery or something. And this like hillbilly white guy comes out with like, I don't know what he had, like a metal rake or something. And he's being really racist to him. And then he has all these weapons, and he's like threatening Juice WRLD. And then we kind of like we get scared because like he's has a gun or whatever he had. And so we like, there's a path, and I run and he runs the opposite direction, and we don't know where I don't know where I'm going because I've never been here, right? So I'm running, and for almost like an hour, like I'm lost. I tried calling him, he doesn't answer. I'm like, oh, I just hope he's okay. And I'm just walking and walking, and there's nothing. It's just like cornfields, but it's like a road. And I turn a corner. I see like 50 teenage kids outside in the middle of nowhere, a Chinese restaurant, and they're all like talking, and they're all like getting hyped for something. I was like, oh shit, what's going on here? Like, I hope I don't get robbed or something. And so I walk into the Chinese shop because the Chinese restaurant. They're all going inside, and there's this massive boxing ring that's probably the size of like, I don't know, like the square feet of my house or something. It's so big. And there's two girls in there fighting like MMA, and these guys are all watching. And then when the one person loses the fight, the other person that won walks off, and there's this Chinese guy like as the announcer, and there's like a restaurant, all that, and there's like the lobby and whatnot. And then after the fight, out of nowhere, there's this big like sumo wrestler guy that's like 1,000 feet tall and fat as hell just spawns in, and he starts like he needs a fight. So the Chinese guy, I guess he owns the restaurant, the announcer, he's like, all right, we need a fighter. So he picks like some random guy out of the crowd, and I guess like I don't know, he like spawns into the ring, like he like snaps his fingers and he's just there in the ring and he can't like get out. And so this sumo guy is just killing him, and then the guy's like, all right, next one, and then I'm like, shit, like I gotta get out of here. So I try leaving, and you know in like video games where there's like an invisible wall and you can't go through, that happened to me. I was like, why can't I go through? So I'm stuck in this Chinese restaurant, and one by one people are dying, and I'm like, shit, like, and there's like a board of like who's next, and then I'm like, shit, I'm gonna die in here. I gotta get out. I'm like spamming juice. I'm like, dude, don't come into like I'm gonna die. And I'm like, dude, like maybe he can like maybe he can open the doors and then I can go out. And so I see some guy coming. I'm like, yes, this is like my chance. And this guy opens the doors and I try and go through and I can't. I'm like, dude, I'm actually stuck here. And then I'm spamming him. I'm texting him like, do not come into, if you see a Chinese restaurant, do not come in there. And I'm like, I don't even know if he's alive, right? And I'm trying to get out, and this one guy comes in. He was like an older gentleman, and he comes in and he finds out like really quickly what's going on, and he starts freaking out, and he's like screaming at the top of his lungs. Like I can remember him screaming. And then I go into this elevator. I'm like, there must be like a way out. So I go into this elevator, takes me upstairs. There's another door. I'm like, please work. So I try and go through the doors. Doesn't work. There's like multiple exits. I try. Doesn't work. So when you go up this elevator, there's like a tiny hallway from like me to ET, and then there's the doors. So I'm just in this hallway just chilling. I'm like, I'm about to die in here. So I'm like, I just hope he's like alive. And I'm just staying there, and I'm watching. There's like, cause it's upstairs area. There's like a window, so I get to see them fighting. And I just see all these people dying in there, and I'm like, shit. So I'm just waiting to die pretty much, and then I wake up, and I was like, shit. So then I was curious to see what his actual name was, cause I forgot. And I searched it up, and it's like Gerard, or I don't know what his name was, or Gerard, I don't know. And then under like the search, you know when it says like people also ask?
Yeah.
I scroll and it's like, what was Juice WRLD's last words? And I'm like, what is this? So I click on it, and it said like, his last words were like, I always love the support, or like it was like, I love my fans more than life itself. And I was like, damn. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Damn.
What do you guys think?
That's crazy.
It's so weird, dude. It's so weird.
It's weird how like people can dream into like such like high detail and stuff. Like just like it's so weird to me that like I don't know, you can remember like an old man screaming or something to like that extent. Like it's weird to me. Yeah. That's kinda cool though. Got to meet Juice in real life.
Mhm.
It's pretty sick.
I almost had his phone. I could have
Tweeted out. What would you have done with the phone?
Well, I would have. I was trying to go on Instagram and like follow me.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have done anything bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe subscribe to the YouTube.
Let's go.
But
No, yeah, just promote the YouTube.
Exactly.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, that COVID class stuff. Like, imagine if that actually happened. That'd be like pretty. I'd probably be in there because like
I would definitely be in there.
Yeah,
I've been
the
exposed
teacher
to.
like in my class, he had got COVID, and I was like in the class. So I got one of the emails like you've been like minorly exposed to COVID. So I would have been in there, and then I would have definitely got COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, but
Yeah.
Bro, I was in the same one.
yeah, that was
Because you're just gonna get COVID if you go there, right?
I
It's
feel
so
like
dumb.
everyone would like pretty much
I
like
was in the front row.
yeah, like yeah. I feel like everyone would get like like I feel like everyone would go to that. Like most people would be in that class because of like at our school like a lot of people got like exposed or like had been like in touch with someone who had been exposed. So like Yeah. It's
Yeah,
kind
you're
of weird.
just getting COVID by doing that.
Yeah, because then it's, yeah, like
I
you
get
said,
what the
someone
school
who,
would be thinking, but at the same time, it's like, no.
yeah. It's pretty screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, topics.
Topics.
I want to go first since my computer's about to die soon.
No. Kevin Hackett.
I don't have that, but yeah, you could talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Casio, like the watch brand, I think I'm saying that right. They released like a vintage Pac-Man watch, and you can play Pac-Man on the watch. I don't know how, but it looks pretty cool. It's literally just Pac-Man on like a watch that has the time in the middle. I
That's
don't know
pretty
how you play it.
You gonna get it?
It's $2,000 because it's a gold watch.
Gold watch with Pac-Man.
I can see the guy. I forgot the Japanese guy that made Pac-Man. I can see him walking with the watch. But
Yeah.
all right, next one. I haven't watched this yet. There's an Reddit. There's a ancient 15,000-year-old virus identified in melting Tibetan glaciers. So, like the start of a horror movie, ancient creatures are emerging from the cold storage. I've never read this before. Of now melting permafrost from incredibly preserved extinct megafauna like the woolly rhino to the 40,000-year-old remains of a giant wolf and bacteria over 750,000 years old. Not all of them are dead. Century-old moss was able to spring back to life in the warmth of the laboratory. So too, incredibly, were tiny 42,000-year-old round worms. These fascinating glimpses of organisms from Earth's long-distant past are revealing the history of ancient ecosystems, including the details of the environments in which they existed. But the melt has also created some concerns about ancient viruses coming back to haunt us. Melting will not only lead to the loss of those ancient... why would they... If a virus that killed thousands of species or whatever comes back to Earth, wouldn't that like affect us? So archive microbes and viruses, but also release them into the environments in the future. Researchers write in a new study, led by first author and microbiologist Ziping Zhong from Ohio State University. Thanks to new techniques and methods for keeping the ice core samples sterilized, the researchers are working on getting a better understanding on what exactly lies within the cold. There's dozens of 50,000-year-old viruses from the Galea ice cap of the Tibetan Plateau, and gain insights into their functions. The glaciers were formed gradually. Many viruses were also deposited into that ice. These microbes potentially represent those in the atmosphere at the time of their deposit, the team explains in their paper. Past studies show microbial communities correlate with changes in dust and ion concentrations in the atmosphere. It can also indicate climate and environmental conditions at the time. These viruses have thrived in extreme environments. Their genetic sequences to a database from known viruses. The team found abundant viruses in both ice core samples, bacteria that infected the Methylobacterium, bacteria important to the methane cycle within ice. These viruses originated from soil or plants. Which nutrited their hosts. The greater danger lies in what else in the melting ice is releasing. Massive reserves of methane and carbon, or it's clear the ice could also hold insights into past environmental changes and the evolution of viruses too. We know very little about viruses and microbes in these extreme environments, but what is actually there, says Earth scientist Lonnie Thompson, who notes we will have important questions unanswered. So how do bacteria and viruses respond to climate change? What happens when we go from ice age to warm period like we are now. That would be interesting. There's so much more to be explored. Interesting.
Damn, you know that it reminds me a lot of like Jurassic Park and stuff, Jurassic World, where they like, cause it's like the honey or whatever like preserves the dinosaurs and they can like breed them, like, yeah, that's kind of, it's weird to think that like something from that long ago is like preserved and like alive, like the moss and stuff, and like
And could affect
a
us.
worm, yeah, like, you know, I don't know what it's probably like. It's weird to think, like, it's hard to think that far back, like, because we're just, like, not used to anything like that. So it's weird to think that something, is, like, alive and, like, I don't know. It's just weird. And, like, how, like, stuff was, like, mutated, like, from, like, a worm to, like, a worm from then to back, like, now is, like, probably, like,
Weird.
incredibly different. Like, it's cool to see how stuff, like, evolves and, like, mutates and stuff and, like, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Just hope it doesn't bite us in the ass.
Yeah, so we don't get some like Jurassic Park stuff.
I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, they have it
Yeah.
contained, so that's good.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
The Suns lost against the Bucks, 105-108. So people asking me why I wanted the Suns to win. It's pretty simple. The Suns, the players on there are very nice, fun people. All the supporters of the Suns, very nice people. They're very humble, except for like the Suns and 4 guy, but he was just doing it as a joke, right? Yeah, they deserved that win, really. I mean, the Phoenix, they have so many nice supporters. They're all very kind people. You can see on like interviews and stuff like that. They're all really nice people. But the Bucks won. But they haven't won it in like 50 years, 55 years. So good on them. But
And now Giannis finally has a ring. So like they're saying like for Giannis, it's good because now he's got like this like list of achievements, right? Like I feel like one of like the biggest things is like determined on like how good you are is like if you have a ring or not. Like
that's a big part of it.
and if you have a like a good, like you worked for it. Like a lot of people are now bringing up the debate of like KD's rings. Like they're both like people say they're fake rings because he's injured and he never got to like actually like play for them. So yeah, people say KD has 2 fake rings, and like people say that he still doesn't have like a legit like one that he actually got to like work for. Like the cool thing about Giannis, like in one of the interviews that was done, he's saying I could have joined a super team. He's like I could have done this. I could have went to all these different teams who have like they have like all these great players. But he stayed loyal to his team, right? Like, and I think that's pretty cool that he finally has like a chip. Yeah, like some of the videos that he's on is pretty funny, but
one thing unfortunate. There was like 65,000 people outside the stands. No, outside the arena, and there was like they were all shoulder to shoulder, no masks. I just hope that they don't get COVID. I think one person from Milwaukee also played for the Suns, like at the beginning of the season, so he's guaranteed a ring. I forgot who it was, but
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I have a topic like about that. So, it's on Bleacher Report. It's titled "Giannis's Epic 2021 NBA Finals Sparks New Debates Among Legends and Historians." Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't turn 27 till December. He just wrapped up his 8th season and ranks 523rd in league history in minutes played. For most players, those numbers would mean it's way too early to analyze their place among the all-time greats. But not for Giannis. After 3 seasons that included 2 MVP wins and Defensive Player of the Year nod, Finals MVP, and one of the greatest postseason performances of all time, he's earned a spot in the discussion. It's more than a title, Ben Simmons said of Giannis's championship on the Ben Simmons podcast. At some point, you're talking about legacy and history. We're going to have the 75th anniversary coming up. He was not on that list. He was not on one of the best of 25 players ever. he wasn't going to be mentioned with Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon and Moses Malone, and now he's there. That doesn't mean that he's settling in the GOAT conversation with LeBron James and Michael Jordan, or fellow Milwaukee champion Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but he could be in that 25 to 30 range, depending on what you emphasize. Those who impressed by peaks are likely more inclined to move Giannis up the ladder. Those who are big on accomplishments like individual rewards, titles, are closer to them than the next group. And then there are those who care more about longevity. Of course, that is where Giannis is behind most of the all-timers, and that should be obvious. He's 26, and unlike any player we've seen before, which raises the question, should we even be doing this at all? Right now, let's just appreciate him. 4-time All-Star and National Basketball Retired Players Association Board Sean Marin told Bleacher Report he's an anomaly. We need to stop comparing players to players. Let's be real right now. His skill set is so dynamic, so unique, and you can't really compare it to anybody. When was the last time you saw a big go coast to coast and dunk the way he does? When you look at him as a center guard.
Isn't he a power forward?
I think so, yeah. You say he's big enough to play. He's big enough to play as a center, but he also handles the ball enough to be a guard. That's the uniqueness about him. Hall of Famer, 2-time champ, 1978 MVP Bill Walton shared similar sentiments. Everything has to be ranked, he told Bleacher Report. Everything has to be compared to something else, and that's just not the life that I live. I enjoy every champion, and I really enjoy Giannis. Skill, talent, work ethic, passion, and imagination. He's really a gift of the gods, and he represents all the things that I really love. Tensions between the approaches of the analysis, like Simmons, and former players such as Marion and Walton in these discussions aren't new. On the media site, there's a desire to break everything down. Starting debates is fun for the players who've experienced a level of basketball most fans in analysis can only dream of. Pushing appreciation over arguments makes sense. Giannis has more or less forced our hand, though over this time to the 5 seasons, he's filled up his resume faster and more thoroughly than anyone could have imagined before his run started. He no doubt be in the top 50 if this was redone, and you can look at that top 30 to top 20 group to get some idea of where he's going with some of the MVP seasons. Back picks Ben Taylor, who has own all-timer list, told Bleacher Report. From a resume standpoint, he's already going to be ahead of all like 30 or 20 dudes placed in league history, assuming too much isn't placed on career totals and longevity. So, yeah, that's a little article on Giannis and stuff.
And he can shoot too. Like, he went to the line over 10 times, and he only missed 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I know, he's like...
There's the stereotype, like, big center guards or whatever, they can't shoot, which is most of the time true, but no, he can shoot.
Yeah, and Giannis is, like... The one thing that's cool about him is, like, he's just such a... Like, he's an athlete, right? Like, you don't see, like, a lot of, like, bigs and, like, centers and stuff like that aren't, like... They're, like, bigger guys, and sometimes they're just super tall. But Giannis is very athletic.
That's all they do.
Yeah, he's just, like, he's like a... Like,
no, but he does it.
He's the Greek freak, right? Like, he's just... He has that, like, vertical and, like...
Greek freak?
Yeah, that's his nickname. And he can just, like... I don't know. I watched... There's, like, this thing on, like, TikTok or whatever. And they say he has a longer, like, Achilles tendon. Like, it's, like, double the length of, like, a normal person's Achilles. And that's why he can, like, jump so high or something. Because it's, like, has to do with,
so
like...
he's not human.
Yeah, there you go. He really is a Greek freak.
UFO.
Yeah, so it's crazy to, like, see how far he's gone. Like, I think it's really cool. But
going back to, like, how the Suns are, like, a very humble team, the coach of Suns went into the locker room and was like, just want to say, great series. You guys deserve this. Great job. Love you guys.
Yeah. Oh, and on the, like, position thing, so Giannis plays, like, he plays, like, 3 positions. So he plays power forward, center, and forward. Because he kind of, like, I don't know. He can do everything,
does
so
it
that's
all.
kind of why he's like plays his all three. So that's pretty cool.
So cool.
So epic.
So you're done?
Nah, I have like 3 more. Do you have any topics?
Oh yeah.
You wanna go?
Yeah. So Kevin Hackett, new EP. Did you listen to it?
I listened to it.
We listened to it before you came.
What's your favorite?
My favorite one's like the first one. It's like
Bruh.
Awake, I think. Is that? Yeah, Awake,
Awake.
right?
That's
I
my
like that one.
favorite as well. Yeah.
I think it's really good.
All of them so good. It's different, but it has like a nice warmth type of feel to it. It's a different style, and it's pretty good.
Like Awake, it reminds me of like we used to go to this camp, like this like Catholic or like Christian camp or whatever, but they always has like these big like they called like night watch or whatever, and they'd go like play like live music and stuff, and it had like that same sort of
It did.
feel.
I think he was playing it at Watch.
Yeah, and it had like this cool like I don't know, it was cool because it was really like it reminded me so much of that, and it had like this really cool like building thing, and like I don't know, it sounds really cool. Yeah, like you said, it kind of has like that warm feel that's like I don't know,
It gives you a lot of vibes, like happy, sad, a lot of emotions come out of
and I
it.
feel like that's kind of hard to do. Like when you're live, like you can kind of like I don't know, it's weird, but you can kind of like feel the emotion of like in Watch or whatever. There's like it's a big room, but you can kind of like feel the emotion, like not like playing like live and stuff, and getting that same feel is kind of cool. Like
it could be hype, it could be sad. One time it was hype. I don't know who I was with, but somebody
The
I was
boys.
with. Yeah, it would have been one of the boys. And we were jumping up and down, and like they landed on their ankle funny, and like I was like with somebody, I don't remember who, and I was like, yo, should I just go into this crowd of teens? I was like 12 or whatever at the time, maybe 13. Should I just put myself in there? And they're all jumping up and down, and I just blended in, but then they're like shouldering me because they're jumping up and down, and it's not like timed right, so they're like shouldering me in like the jaw or something. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, no, Watch is pretty good.
yeah. So I think really good.
Dude, my favorite is Midnight.
Yeah, that one's good too. It was only like 3 songs, right? 'Cause it's an EP, so like Midnight, Awake,
Yeah, extended play.
yeah. And then speaking on the kind of music thing, I know Kanye. He was supposed to drop that same night, right?
Did
like
he not?
Donda. Yeah, I checked on Apple Music at least. He hadn't like dropped anything. I kind of want to check if like
They
I
got a
don't know.
collab.
Yeah, Kevin broke the charts.
Really.
Kevin, in my mind, what would be a great collab is Kevin Hackett x Quadeca. If you look at Quadeca's newest album, it's the same sort of style. It's like, dude, they would be perfect. Or NF, that might be another good one, but I think Quadeca x Kevin Hackett would be insane. Insane.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Let me just check my Apple Music. I want to see if it's dropped because it was like supposed to drop at like last night.
Lazy.
And like people like my sister like sent me like this meme is like go to bed, Donda's not dropping. Like, but yeah, it on Apple Music, which is like what I use, it's still not like it's not there. I know he had like a big concert, and apparently he like opened the roof or wherever, I don't know where he was playing. He like opened the roof because like he did like a listening party or whatever. And then apparently his mom was watching from like I don't know what it was. It was like a blimp or some shit. But she got to like see it from the top. I don't know how they did that, but I think she was like on like a not like plane or like blimp. I have no idea. But
what are those balloons?
yeah, I have no idea. But apparently she got to watch it from the top when that's where they opened the roof. So maybe it's on TV or something, or he streamed it. But
Yeah, it reminds me of the scene.
The Discord stream.
yeah,
It reminds me of the scene from Thor Ragnarok where that lady is in like her ship and she goes over the arena and just sits down on her ship and just watches from above.
That's kind of
it's
a
like
vibe.
free tickets.
That'd be like
But
imagine
she probably had to pay a lot of money for
the
for
plane.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably makes up. Probably it's like triple like seats or whatever. But you
Yeah.
know,
Triple front row seats.
watching and like get that like bird's eye view. Okay, let me pull up my other topics here. I'm doing it on my phone because my the Wi-Fi is pretty slow on my like computer.
Wi-Fi is so good today.
My computer has good Wi-Fi, but not my phone.
I'm showing like data right now.
Ooh.
So on the topic I wanted to talk about is called Very Green. Olympic athletes talk about those cardboard beds in Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I saw 'em.
So the cardboard beds at the athletes' village at the Tokyo Olympics have been setting internet abuzz all week. The beds in the Olympic Village, which are made of cardboard, have been the talk of Tokyo this week. Here's a couple of the Olympic athletes think of the buzzy beds at the Tokyo Olympics. NBC7 San Diego anchor Stephen Luke caught up with the Olympians in Tokyo, like archers Brady Elson, who lives part-time in Chula Vista and San Diego Country, and Jack Williams, and they each beds were good, comfortable, and eco-friendly. An athlete posted a theory on social media that the cardboard beds in the athletes' village at the Tokyo Olympics were a way to prevent athletes from getting intimate. That theory has been debunked. Hear from Team USA athletes on the cardboard beds. Brady Eelson, Team USA Archery. They're trying to be very green on these villages, and they're made out of cardboard recycled stuff. Olympic archer Bradley Eelson told NBC7 anchor Stephen Luke in Tokyo, Japan this week. But are they sturdy? Yes, they are. They have like a 500-pound rating on them, so I don't think you could possibly get a whole gymnast team on a bed, and it's not going to break or anything, he added. Okay, but are the cardboard beds comfortable? Team USA archer Jack Williams said, the setup is pretty comfortable. I kind of like it, actually, he told Luke in Tokyo. I can't tell a difference. How and why did the cardboard beds at the Tokyo Olympics go viral? As Olympic athletes began settling into the athletes' villages in Tokyo, photos of the cardboard beds began circulating on social media, leading many to scratch their heads. What are these odd, unexpected accommodations? On July 16th, U.S. track and field athlete Paul Chamilo tweeted about the beds, suggesting that cardboard frames, which to the naked eye look a bit flimsy, were aimed at avoiding intimacy among athletes. But Chamilo's theory is not true. According to Today, back in January 2020, Olympics organizers told the Associated Press that they were planning to create cardboard beds for the Tokyo Olympic athletes sleeping in the Olympic Village for an eco-friendly purposes. Organizers wanted to be able to recycle the beds into paper products after the Tokyo Games were over. At the time, Takashi Kijatama, I can't say that. The general manager of the athletes' village told AP the beds weren't flimsy at all. They were actually stronger than wooden beds, would be able to support over 440 pounds. So in the end, the beds are just an exercise in sustainability. On July 17th, Irish gymnast Rice McGillen posted a video of himself jumping on the cardboard bed at the athletes' village in Tokyo, and the frame withstood the motion. He said the idea of the beds as a way to prevent sex. What? Why is my thing? My bad. He said the idea of the beds used as a way to prevent sex in the athletes' village was fake news. So that's it.
What is that?
He wasn't jumping hard enough.
Because people said that if like it wouldn't support the weight of like two people, but they debunked it and they said it was just about sustainability.
What the?
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of that kind of thing, Crocs have announced that by 2030 they're gonna be like zero emissions or something like that. They're gonna be vegan by the end of the year, I don't know what that means. Vegan. It's shoes. Um, and they're gonna be what is it? They're gonna donate all the shoes that they don't sell to kids that need it, or
Nice.
people that need it, and they're recycling. They're using recycled materials and stuff like that. They're taking a big step for the planet, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Dang, that's pretty
Mm.
sick.
And a lot of cause I found out from Alfonso Davies on his Instagram, he
Hey.
sponsored them or something. So it's good that they gain awareness from good causes and whatnot.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to put that in because I forgot.
I guess they probably just use leather on some
Hmm.
of their Crocs.
Mhm. Yeah, and they just like use different materials now, I guess,
Yeah.
right? All right. My next topic: New Era upside down logo hats have just dropped, and MLB Twitter has had enough of this garbage. The backlash to the New Era upside down logo was swift and harsh from baseball fans sick of a year full of bad design drops. What in the world was New Era thinking with the latest hat drop? They decided to release a new line of caps that they presumably thought that baseball fans across the country would love and jump to buy. Except that's not the case. These hats, which features ones that have the logos upside down, are nothing short of a nightmare. Do they expect people to spend around $40 a pop for these? There's no way that this is going to happen. There's no way that's going to happen. And the reactions on social media confirm that. They just show tweets. So some of the hats, like some of the logos, like don't look good upside down at all. Like if you think about they show a picture here of like the Cubs logo upside down, and it's just like a C that looks like the wrong way. And there's one that like the logo's like a P or whatever.
Bro, let's see.
Here, I can't get it to show.
You can go up and show the viewers.
All right, let's see if I can get the image. Wait.
We got 5 minutes left.
All right. Here, let me just get the. I'll just show the camera if it focuses. I gotta show you the last one.
If you flip the screen, you can see what they see.
So you can see like.
Dude.
It looked pretty like.
Oh, a little bit.
Like the Tampa Bay one, and like look at the P. People were saying that looks like a dick. So it's kind of like.
Ooh, that autofocus is good.
It's just weird.
Can I
Like
see?
a lot of people didn't like. Okay, so there's like one photo. You can see how like. Here, wait.
Doesn't look
This
like.
one's that one. People like, and the like Tampa
Bro.
Bay and like.
What the-
And the Angels.
Why are
like, it
they
just
doing
looks-
this? Do you know?
I have no idea. I think they just thought it'd be like a cool idea for like a hat.
Who would want to
drop.
wear dude? You can go to TNA if you want to wear a dick on your
Yeah.
clothing.
Someone tweeted, I honestly think they have run out of ideas for the hats.
Yeah, obviously.
So, yeah, they really just, like, I like the hats. Like, they're pretty cool, and they got, like, I don't know, they're very, like the fitted hats. I have one myself, and I like it, but,
So
I mean,
nice.
yeah, but, like, what they're doing now, the upside down, I don't like it.
So good.
Not on the other ones, but on, like, okay, on the main ones that they sell, like, there's probably, like,
Mhm.
the Dodgers one and, like, Yankees. Like, those ones look actually kind of cool because, like, I don't know. I think those look cool, but
Bro,
probably
they
just 'cause,
should
like-
sell Yankee with no brim.
Yankee with no brim. I think people buy them and just cut the brims. I don't know. But, yeah.
Next
That's-
topic.
Yeah, okay, I gotta, like, do this topic quick because we're running
Yeah.
out of time here. So could Seattle have done better in the expansion draft? I'm of the belief that if you took every current NHL GM and went back in time to put them in Ron Francis' shoes leading up to the expansion draft, the end of result, leveraging 0 assets from an opposition team, making one trade, Tyler Pitlick, for a 4th rounder, in its wake would not be replicated a single time. I want to see if I can just find the players quickly. So basically, if you didn't know, Seattle just had like the expansion draft, and so they got to pick a player from each team in the NHL right now. So each team got to protect like 12 players. So like basically like their A line or their first line and like all their star players. So Seattle acquired like quite like they acquired, I guess, like enough to have a season and like enough players to like
Play.
play. But yeah, they got some pretty.
They're also playing the Canucks for their first game.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
they asked, like, who you guys want to see.
And it
they're
was
all
in
like, Vancouver.
October, I think, because we're like the seasonal, or no, sorry, geographical rival. So that's why. So here is the guys that they got. So from the Anaheim Ducks, they got Hayden Fleury, and the cap hit like 1.3 million. Then they got Tyler Pitlick, Jeremy Lausen, Will Borgen, Mark Giordano, Morgan Gecky, John Queenville, Jonas Donskui, I don't know how to say these, Gavin Boyrither, Jamie Olsig, Dennis Chalowski, Adam Larson, Chris Dieter, Curtis McDermott, Carson Sorsey, Cale Fleury, Cal Jarnock, Nathan Batson, Jordan Eberle, Colin Blackwell, Joey Dacord, Carson Terensky, Braden Tanev, Alex Drew, Vince Dunn, Yanni Gord, Gerard McCain, Cole Lind, Vitek Vanik, and Mason Appleton. So yeah,
Who'd they get from Canucks, you know?
They got here, let me
Tanev or
no, that was that was his brother. Let me go down here. They got Cole Lind.
never heard.
Yeah, he's like Coland. Yeah, but he's one of like the lower. I guess he's like, I don't know, just not in like the main lines. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for like Vancouver to play like Kraken. I feel like it'll be cool because they don't have to travel like super far as well. So yeah, I guess that's it.
But hurry.
Okay, so it's kind of late, but beyond, I don't know, whatever. They released Beyond Chicken, and Nick Ireland fought DK Money, and he won.
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
Ireland, yeah. So that's it.
Yee.
Yee.
Dang.
He's like, cringe.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, that's it. See ya.
Peace.